Hello, Zachary at Practically Social. This week on episode 12, we're covering goal setting. By the end of the video, you'll have a clear definition of how I define a goal, an objective, and how the two are combined to develop therapy or personal goals. You'll also know how to set a measurable goal for yourself. Remember the life satisfaction pie chart we did in episode 11? We're going to break that puppy out and use it again for this video. So grab your pen and paper and let's set some goals. Before we get started, thanks to all my 38 subscribers. You truly are a special part of my life because you're increasing the reach of this channel, and that increases the chances that someone who really could benefit from the work we do has the opportunity to find it. Thank you so much. Second, there's two ways you can subscribe. Either hit the little submarine down below to subscribe or the red button below it. There's another way you can reach me as well, which is through the Telegram app, where you can chat with me under the name Practically Social. I look forward to our conversations and discussions. Let's jump in, shall we? Goals can be somewhat confusing at times. The important thing to remember here is that a goal should be yours, not anyone else's. Tons of evidence shows that we're more successful in attaining goals when we do a few things. We put them in our own words, we make them measurable, we write them down with a pen and paper, and we place them in plain sight. The analogy I like to use here is that our brain is like a captain and our body is the ship. When we give the captain a map to where we want to go, the captain figures out a way to get there. Our goal is both a map and a treasure. Does that make it easy to remember? Let's define both a goal and an objective. So many people get these confused because we're used to calling all kinds of things goals when they could be objectives. Here's a key difference. A goal is general and an objective is specific. A goal is an abstract idea and an objective is a piece that's needed to create that abstract idea. We can have more than one objective as long as the objective supports the goal by helping us to achieve goal by achieving its objective or objectives. One of the examples for goals I like to use is one that a client gave to me. His goal was, I want to be a better father. I think this is a great goal. My client had spent a lot of time away from his son and was making a sincere effort to reconnect with him and provide emotional and physical support. I said, I love this goal. Let's take it one step further. Let's make it active instead of passive. You could say, I will be a better father in lieu of saying, I want to be a better father. Do you see how that makes your goal active? He saw what I meant. He smiled. I smiled. Okay, awesome, I said. Next, let's try to get more specific. What are some of the things that keep you from being the better father you're imagining here? Well, he said, I get to spend time with my son when I have him, but I find myself being on my phone a lot and not really paying attention to him as much. Ah, I see, I said. So we have a couple points here to think. Your goal is to be a better father, and it sounds like one of the ways you might see to measure that is by how much attention you pay to him when you're having him for visits? Yeah, that's definitely one of the things I think about a lot. Cool, I said. I think you have a goal. The goal is abstract enough, it's general enough, so tell me, what does a better father look like to most people? I don't know, he said. I guess a lot of things I wasn't doing I would need to be doing. Okay, so most people would have different ideas about what it takes to be a better father, right? Yeah, for sure, he said. So we don't know the exact definition of better father, which is a great goal, but we do know that you'd like to spend less time looking at your phone and more time with your son, right? Yeah, he said. Okay, so how can you turn how much time you spend on your phone or how much time you spend with him into some kind of goal? He thought about it for a minute. I'd spend less time on the phone and maybe that would help me be a better father, he said. Yep, you're right. So a goal is something general, better father, and an objective is something that we can measure, and usually people can see us doing it. How can you make what you said measurable? He said, I'd spend that 2 hours without looking at my phone. Great, so we have an objective now. Can you put it all into your own words as a goal and an objective? Goal, I'll be a better father. Objective, I'll spend 2 hours with my son each day focused only on him. Then I asked him, so do you think that if you spent 2 hours with him every time and you didn't look at your phone, you would be a better father? Yeah, I guess so, he said. Sounds like a pretty decent goal to me, I said. All we have to do now is make it more measurable by setting our time frame for achieving the goal. I usually set goals for 3-month intervals. However, you can set a goal for 1 month or 6 months, however you choose. In therapy, I like 3 months because it gives time to change and also isn't so far out that we lose track of what really might be helping or hindering us from our goals. There you have my definition of a goal, general, and an objective, specific, measurable target that helps meet the goal. Another way to think of this comes from the Call of Duty game. You're usually following a yellow dot that points you to your objective. Perhaps your objective is to take out the radio tower in support of the mission. The mission might be stop the enemy in their tracks. Objectives are clearly defined. Someone could see you destroying the radio tower, and goals are more general. What does stopping them in their tracks really look like? The objective is something that is done on the way to the goal and supports it. When you see yourself meeting objectives, you're likely to think that you are succeeding in accomplishing the goal. I hope that helps. If not, feel free to comment with your questions. All right. So we've defined a goal and objective. I discussed how one of my clients was able to make a goal and a supporting objective, and then I gave you a couple of analogies to help make sense of them. Now, let's talk about how we can use the exercise you did from my last video to help you set some goals for therapy or whatever else you'd like. Grab your life satisfaction pie chart you made with all your fancy coloring in it from last time. Which areas did you place below the level of 35% satisfaction? How many of those are there? Which areas had the lowest satisfaction rating? Would you like to place these at the top of your priority list for making a goal, or is there something else you'd like to choose instead? Choose one important place to start. I think it's important to work on one goal at a time. If it's necessary, the max I would say to work on at the same time would be 2 goals. After that, it can be too difficult, pun intended. You have a priority for a goal? Okay, let's use the example I gave earlier of a goal and an objective to help you find a goal and an objective for the life area you chose. Which one is it? What would you say your goal is? What's your objective? Take a few minutes to do this and stop the video if you need to in order to complete it. Common goals include the areas of relationships, finances, depression or anxiety reduction, and sometimes things like anger management, reducing or eliminating drug use. Remember, the most effective way to go about achieving your goals is to what? Make them yours, put them in your own words, make them measurable, write them down, and put them up where you can see them. If for some reason your goal is too personal and you don't want to post it in an easy to see place, make sure you put it somewhere private that you have easy access to and are in the habit of looking at each day. Good times are when waking up and when going to sleep. I have a calendar that I put my monthly goals on, and every time I'm writing something on it, such as an important date, what I ate that day, or if I worked out, I get to see that goal and remind myself. I can also post objectives on the beginning of the week and use the days to count off my objective numbers. If you need more guidance at that, I'm happy to help. Okay, so that is the super stripped down, crash course version of how I approach goal setting. I use it with my clients and I use it for myself as well. Goals can be whatever we want them to be. Remember that if you set a goal for yourself, especially if you've been struggling, that it's important to be realistic in your goal setting. If I want to lose 20 pounds within 3 weeks, see how that's really an objective? That's probably not very realistic for most people. If I said I want to be healthier and I will lose 5 pounds every 2 weeks over the next 2 months, I'm more likely to reach my goal. If I have the proper tools and plan in place, right? I'm not saying be afraid to dream. I think you should. If you have a really big goal, break it down into smaller goals and objectives so you can really feel your success along the way and don't get discouraged. So what do you think? Was that helpful? I hope so. Like I said, a lot of people struggle with this, so if you don't get it right away and you're getting frustrated, don't be afraid to reach out for some help, either from me or someone else. We all have to keep practicing. Sometimes we just need to readjust our goal or fine-tune it a little bit. We're very capable and powerful beings. Writing down our goals and reviewing them regularly can help us to the success and contentment we've been seeking. Stay tuned for next week's topic, power analogies for therapy and self-help. I'll be covering some of my favorite and most used analogies that I trust will help you in your personal journey. Please subscribe, comment, like, and share. See you next time.